I'm Steve. Welcome back to Edge of the Tire. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than my normal race commentary. So we are going to start out that way, but the majority of the time I'm going to spend talking about and going over the details of a crash that I had out at turn 9 race number 4 at the second round of the Southern Downs Road Racing Championship. Unfortunately, as we all know, crashing is part of racing and we all make mistakes. This time, it was definitely rider error, although some setup that I was trying to work with over the weekend was a contributing factor. So most of the weekend, I had reached the end of what the fork was really capable of on the bike, given my riding style and weight, which is honestly an improvement. Up to this point, I've been fighting the shock, and since Chris from TCX Suspension has helped me sort that out, now the next thing that's holding me back is the fork. So for most of the weekend, Chris and I were experimenting with pulling out some preload as we had the adjusters maxed out for most of the weekend, putting in some extra compression to help compensate for that, and changing the ride height of the front end. So right before this race started, we'd added 3 more clicks of compression to the fork. I went out for my siding lap and I immediately knew that it was wrong. I hadn't even completed half of a lap and I knew that I wanted to come back in and change it back to how it was. I could feel that the front end was way too flighty and way too light, but it was what I had to work with and I made the best of it. Unfortunately, I just pushed it too far. So I hope you enjoy watching this one, and I hope anyone that's had a crash or done something similar, that they're not feeling too discouraged. This happens to everybody. It's a character building experience, and the best thing that we can do is learn from what we've done so we can improve as a rider. Thanks for watching as always. Hope you enjoy. So I just about completed my warm-up lap, and I can already tell that the changes I made to the front end are terrible. We had way too much compression and the front's feeling too flighty. At this point I'm thinking about coming back in pit lane to see if I can make a change and just start from pit. But ultimately I decided to grid up and make the best of it and see if I can ride around it. Start here. Pretty happy with how this is going so far. I'm expecting Tristan to come back around me here relatively soon. I don't have confidence in the front end of this bike right now. That did not take long. All right, I'm going to see if I can stick with him here. I don't think I'm going to have the pace for him this race, but we'll see how it plays out. Feel this thing moving around way more than I want it to. If I had a 3mm Allen key on the end of my glove, I would be using it right now. Very nice pass there by Brody Reed. Looks like Tristan and Daly are both going to be getting away from me here. I think Brody and I are going to have a hell of a battle. That was a very nice attempt at a defensive line, but I did not bite for that one. I'm not going to give this one up this easy. Let's see if I can put some pressure on him here. I gotta see if I can get away from him. I need to find a way to make him check up on the throttle just to give me a little bit of space. Completely scrubbed turn 7. Last lap he took me here on the inside going into 9. I'm going to see if I can block him a little bit, just make him check up a bit on the throttle. Well, that obviously did not go to plan. Let's rewind this a bit and look at things a little bit closer. So we're going to start here at turn 6. I can say already that I'm getting frustrated that I can't stay with the riders in front of me. This poor headspace is definitely a contributing factor to what's happened. I'm pushing the bike way too hard, and I really should just be riding within its limits. So like I said, I intend on taking a defensive line through here. The intention is to make Brody question which way I'm going to go, hopefully to get him to roll off the throttle a little bit. I just want a little bit more space to work. So this is what I'm going to try to do as I come into 8. It's going to put me on a weird line though into turn 9, which ultimately will be the cause of the crash. So here's the apex, and this is what I'm aiming for. I'm pretty far offline, so what I'm doing right now is still providing a ton of steering input to try to get the bike pointed in the right direction. We can see it's in vain though. The front end is way too flighty after the changes that we made. The front tire is actually off the ground as I'm trying to push harder on the bar. And the front tire's off the ground. The thing is, I didn't realize it at the time. Literally 1/10 of a second later, the front tires come back down, our lateral acceleration has spiked up over 2 Gs. The bike has bucked me off the inside, and the bike's now lying on my right leg. I'm trying to push it back up, but there just isn't enough time. So let's take the opportunity here to look at a couple of the things that happened from a different angle. Let's first look for the bounce. We can actually see the tire skip off the ground. My camera records at 30 frames a second, so keep that in mind when we go over this. You can see how little time it took for this to go pear-shaped. The other thing I wanted to point out here is the Tech Air 5 vest I'm wearing from Alpinestars. You can actually see it deploy just before my full weight is down and on my elbow. There's no doubt in my mind that I'd have more than a couple sore ribs if I wasn't wearing this, given the rolling that I did after I hit the grass. And here's where the vest gets triggered. You can see over the next couple frames how it inflates as I roll away from the bike. That's about it for this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And a huge thank you to all of the club sponsors who get involved in repairing the bike after a crash. Doesn't matter how severe a crash is, it can take an incredible amount of work and can be an immense undertaking to get going again. So thank you very much for all involved, and we'll hope to see you out on the next one.